Following Donald Trump's implementation of the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China this week, two different economic groups, the blue chip investors and the Atlanta Federal Reserve, updated their economic forecasts, and both of these economic forecasts show the exact same thing, and that is that we're roughly 3.5 months away from a recession. Here is what the Atlanta Federal Reserve found. Instead of Donald Trump's policies shrinking GDP by 1.5 percentage points, with the tariffs actually going into effect, they immediately revised those predictions and said that for the first quarter, GDP is going to shrink by 2.8%. The blue chip investors actually didn't show originally a contraction, a shrinking of the economy, of the GDP for the first quarter of this year. They had shown about a 2.3% growth in the economy. That's what they had for their GDP prediction. We're going to grow by 2.3%, which is pretty generous. Yeah, that fell 5.1%, and they're also predicting a 2.8% shrinkage of the economy. For those of you who may not be aware of the fact, a recession is officially defined as 2 consecutive quarters of shrinking GDP. Very small, bar to get over, but once we hit that, we are officially in a recession. You get to 4 of those quarters of shrinking GDP, we're officially in a depression. Economists and other economic forecasters on Tuesday, they actually came out and said that we could be looking at a identical scenario to what led to the Great Depression. The Great Depression, folks. Donald Trump has not made America great again. Donald Trump has taken America back 96 years and put us in a situation where we may be looking at another massive economic collapse. And we're already seeing it happening in slow motion. Now, a lot of it, of course, a lot of these, changed economic predictions are directly due to the tariffs. But the overall, for most economists, bad economic numbers, right, the downward trend began with the mass deportations. It accelerated with the mass firings because we don't have people out there to, produce goods when we do these mass deportations. The mass firings is going to increase unemployment in this country at a time where we have more unemployed people than jobs to offer. Any of that sound familiar from your history books, folks? I mean, maybe not the mass deportation part, but the more people looking for work than available work. Great Depression type stuff, right? Stock market tanking. Monday, Tuesday. Fall, drop. Great Depression-esque, right? But that is where we are headed. And the worst part about this is that this isn't because Congress has passed something, the Senate has passed something, the president signed it, and we enacted these new policies. All of this economic destruction, because that's what it is literally coming from one human being on this planet. One man did this to us all. Donald J. Trump. The mass deportations, that wasn't an act of Congress. That was Trump. The mass firings, again, that wasn't Congress. That was Trump. The tariffs, that wasn't Congress. That was Trump. Now, I'm not trying to absolve the Republicans in the House or Senate. They're just as guilty, right? They've supported this. They've promoted this. They ran on this along with Donald Trump. They are just as guilty as him. But at the end of the day, if Trump himself had not made these decisions, these horrific economic forecasts that we are now looking at wouldn't exist. They wouldn't. We have let one man in this country destroy 4 years of economic growth. And he did it in less than a month and a half. So buckle up, because if these projections from these top economic groups come to fruition, then by the end of June of this year, the United States will officially be in a recession. which, as I've always pointed out, actually continues the trend that has happened for my entire life. Every single Republican president that has served in office during my lifetime has pushed the United States into a recession. Every one of them. Reagan, H.W. Bush, W. Bush, Trump's first term, and now it's going to be Trump's second term. And we'll follow the same pattern we did with these folks. Republicans break it, Democrats have to come along and fix it. And then when the Democrats fix it, the public says, well, that's not good enough. Let's go back to the recession, folks. And the cycle perpetuates itself, possibly for all of eternity. Hopefully not. Maybe the voters will learn a lesson this time. But I really, at this point, have zero faith in them, so who knows? But one thing we do know, the smart folks, the economists, the ones who look at this for a living, make these predictions. These predictions are used by investors. They're used by the market because they know what they're talking about. And these people are telling us that economic hell is coming to the United States. And you, average everyday American, you are going to be the one paying the price for it. And when you do, I want everyone to remember this one simple fact. Every decision that put us into this situation came from one man, Donald J. Trump, the convicted felon sitting in the White House. He did this to all of us. And don't ever forget that. Did you know that you might be missing out on wonderful content from me? I mean, you're here already because clearly you like what you see. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, share them with your friends and family, but also follow me across the rest of the social media world. And it's not that hard to do. Whether it's X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, on every one of those platforms, you can find me at the username @FarronBalanced. Simple enough, right? So get on it. And if you don't feel like going to each one of those outlets individually, lucky for you, we have links in the description of this video to take you right to my pages across all of social media. So don't miss a minute. And while you're at it, make sure you're also subscribed to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel, which I have been hosting for many, many years now. We've got more than 1 million subscribers over there, and there is fresh content over there every single day of the week. So again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, go subscribe to Ring of Fire at youtube.com/The Ring of Fire and @FarronBalanced across every social media platform that, of course, is not considered just a far-right hellscape. Well, maybe Twitter is, but that's a story for a different day.